telling the story of Christianity's roots and the places that commemorate it. This is the aim of the Terra Sancta Museum in Jerusalem, a unique place, the first museum that traces the history of Christianity. The project, which the Custody of the Holy Land has for a long time invested in, will be presented in Milan on Tuesday, May the 21st, by the team of Italian consultants, architects and museum specialists involved in the work of the museum, whose opening is planned in 2015. With the Custos, Father Pierbattista Pizzaballa, we trace the reasons why it is worth showing these roots and telling this story.
This
country has a history in which the Jewish presence is obvious, the Islamic presence is obvious, but in which, although the Christian presence is also obvious, it needs to be shown and better known. There is no museum on the history of the Christian presence in the Holy Land. At most, there are small presentations on the subject, but they are not systematic. So it is time to organize something, because Christians have always been here, and are still here today, albeit as a small minority, as a presence that is culturally very lively and rich, which has contributed enormously in building relationships, not only with the local population, but also with many societies around the world. It is a reality that must be made known.
Ed è una realtà che è bene fare conoscere.
It is a project of great value that also expresses a general desire to invest in culture and history. Where does this desire come from?
Questa terra, la nostra presenza, anche i nostri cristiani hanno bisogno non soltanto di lavoro, di pane.
In this land, we and our Christians not only need work and bread, but they also need a meaning. We need to know more about our history, to get a better sense of belonging, a more defined identity. This cannot be separated from our history and from what we were.
Questo non può prescindere dalla storia e da quello che siamo stati. Da Gerusalemme questo viene fuori in maniera evidente, anche sempre molto pratica e concreta. Le relazioni di oggi sono segnate dalla storia.
In Jerusalem, this comes out in a clear and always very practical and concrete manner. Relationships today are marked by history. Our relationships are often injured because our history is wounded. We need to reread our history in a calm and redeemed way, using Christian language, but to do so we need to be familiar with it. We see that our history is steeped in relationships with others, and this helps us to live the present reality more serenely. First of all, you realize that most of the current phenomena, social, political, religious, have already been experienced by our fathers and our grandfathers, and so there is nothing new. This helps to reframe the problems, see them in the right perspective, to have some distance and to understand the current reality in a more serene and less dramatic or catastrophic way. It also allows us to keep in mind the richness of our history, to have the strength, the backbone to build, to invest in the future, because you know you have the ability to do so. We did it and can continue.
Le spalle per costruire, investire nel futuro, perché sai di avere la capacità, perché l'abbiamo fatto e possiamo continuare a farlo.
If I had a wish that I could.
Can this investment also be a source of social and economic development for the local population?
Certamente, musei, archivi, biblioteche non sono soltanto depositi dove si mette il materiale, ma sono
Of course, museums, archives and libraries are not just stores where you put the material, but they are cultural institutions that have an economic consequence. The visits of pilgrims, the need for trained and qualified personnel for the restoration, the presentation, the creation of new exhibitions, for presentations, for communications, computers, etc. It is all a matter of building relationships that are also social and carry so much potential. I want to point out that, in the place where we are now planning to build a museum, in the workshops of the cobbler, carpenter and blacksmith, the aim of the Franciscans in the past was to provide jobs. Today these workshops are no longer there because times have changed, but the idea is to continue to have this link and these activities, including the economic ones, in the future.
Ci sono più perché i tempi sono cambiati, ma l'idea è di continuare, di avere questo legame, questa relazione, queste attività anche economiche anche per il futuro.
Makes me high. Sunshine almost